Hey, what's up, horror fans, horror freaks, geeks, nerds, weebs, turds, basement dwellers, and of course, all you mouth breathers out there. Welcome to the R-Rated Show. I'm your host, Josh James, and co-hosting with me tonight is Nick Utam, the last standing Samoan from the World Class Bullshitters. Now, you know, whenever Nick comes on board, we're always doing something awesome, and that means tonight is no exception. For this show, we have an awesome interview. In case you haven't guessed from the thumbnail, we have Felissa Rose from the SleepAway Camp franchise. And she's just an amazing actress and a great time, a fun person to talk to. An awesome interview. And we had so much fun sitting down and, shooting the shit, finding out what's going on in her life, talking about SleepAway Camp, of course, and other things. But probably most importantly, we're talking about the documentary that she executive produced with the fellow who directed and produced the Never Sleep Again, Nightmare on Elm Street, and the Crystal Lake Memories, Friday the 13th, long format documentaries that we all know and love, right? Well, now they're putting together one for SleepAway Camp with lots of amazing interviews and unseen footage and things of that nature. So we definitely want to help promote that so that she can get some crowdfunding together and get that thing out there, because we all know we want to see that one in the worst way. So without further ado, here's the interview. Just to let you know, there was a little glitch with the recording early on, so we lost a few minutes, but there's still tons of great interview, tons of great laughs with Felissa to share with you. So without further ado, here's the interview. Felissa Rose.
You are one sick motherfucker! And he told me what he wanted me to do, and I was like, I love it. That's brilliant. That is so fantastic. Please sign me up. So being his mangled dick expert is my favorite job to date.
Oh, good. I hope that's credited
IMDb.
somewhere, and I hope you have a business card that says that as one of your
IMDb.
things.
It says like the episodes I'm on, and it says mangled dick expert. Like that's
I think it's on your Twitter as well. No, it's on your Twitter.
Yeah, I put it on
mangled
Twitter.
dick expert. Yep, it's there.
It's going to go down in
yeah,
the
you worked
annals of
with-
horror history.
It was so great that he coined that term when he had me on. He was like, that's like a mangled dick, as only Joe Bob could say.
Yeah.
That's like, was that a mangled dick?
That man is amazing.
It's so nice to have somebody who's like kind of an official like champion of horror and how important it is to some fans, and kind of bringing it out to the mainstream a little bit and giving it all the credit who deserve credit that don't really kind of slip through the cracks a little bit.
Yeah.
And so he's just great as far as that's concerned. I really hope next time he's around.
I can't get over the facts. I mean, what he comes out with, like, even watching Mad Men on Friday night, I didn't know a lot of the things he was talking about, and I thought I knew a lot about that film. I'm friends with the director, and he comes out with shit that I think it really blows everyone's mind. You feel like you were a part of it when they made it, because he's so, he spells it out so beautifully and has this way, speaking through his lens where you're like, yeah, and the facts, and he's the scholar.
Oh no, he is definitely.
It's perfect. Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, I'm looking for. I mean, every Friday night now, I don't do anything on Friday nights. So is Joe Bob. I can't miss.
I know.
I can't miss a double feature. So
it's true.
Let's
I don't
see.
either. And I'll be with him. We're doing a bunch of conventions together, and he and I will be at Shockstock. So I was like, I get to watch it with you. I get to, I get to hang with you. That's so cool.
So awesome.
Yeah.
What's like the craziest role a director wanted you to do that you said no to? Has there ever been anything that you were like, I'm gonna pass. It's just not really my flavor, or not. It's just too. I don't know. Maybe like one thing or the other for you to say yes to.
I mean, interestingly enough, I auditioned for Sleepaway Camp 2 and 3. So that was during a time when I had just graduated high school and I'd gotten into college. So I wasn't really sure if I wanted to just study or continue acting. And when I read for the role, I thought I sucked. Like I was so bad because Angela was a completely different character, you know?
Right.
So I would have to say, like, I kind of wish I mean, I love Pamela. I think she's perfect. But I often wonder what my life would be like now if I had done the whole, the entire series.
Right. Yeah, I don't
Just
think it.
an
I mean,
interesting.
was there any like sour grapes in regards to like
No. I felt like when we met, he was kind of like, well, you're um totally different. You're from the first one. I think he had his eyes set on Pamela. He knew her. They'd worked together, and it just didn't. It just didn't kind of feel right for either of
right,
us.
right.
I'd gotten into school. I really wanted to go. They were going to Georgia to film both of them back to back.
Oh, okay.
So it just didn't work out.
Mm.
So, but I just wonder what that would be like had I been a part of it.
Yeah, it probably just be a totally different animal altogether, but equally as good. It's
Yeah.
hard to say. So it's you can always sit there and you can ponder, but if it was meant to be, it would have happened, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
What's funny is when I was scrolling through your IMDb, I saw that you had a Scarecrow and Mrs. King credit on your on your IMDb, and I was like, I gotta go watch that episode. And I watched it. I was like looking for you everywhere. Now, granted, the quality was super bad because I found it on the internet.
Yeah, but I wasn't on that. So IMDb is so weird. A couple of credits have popped up from the 80s or maybe like the early 90s, and I never worked on that project.
Yeah, that's so weird.
That's so weird.
I think IMDb is kind of crowdsourced in a way a little bit. It's like
Yep.
the Wikipedia of actors and actresses in movies. So that's kind of why that happens every now and again. You'll get odd credits here and there that are just like, why is that person in this? It doesn't make any sense, or they weren't in this. Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely.
Yeah.
I
did want to ask you. There's one movie that you have on your Twitter that I looked at the trailer on. I haven't seen it yet, but it looks ridiculously fun. It's called Garlic and Gunpowder.
Oh my God, I love
Great
that
title.
movie.
Yeah.
It's so fun.
It looks insane. What is that about, and how did you get involved in that project?
Okay, so I bet you didn't know it was me. Okay.
At first I didn't. I had to watch a trailer a couple times. I was just like, I know the voice.
I play Ma. I play Big Ma. She's 350 pounds. She smokes a cigar. She's insane. It was probably my most challenging role, definitely, because I had to live in that. I was in makeup for many hours and living in that big suit. So it was, there was a lot of work put into just looking the physicalness of the character, but it was so much fun. And she's a real person. So many years ago, back in like 2012, I did a movie called Camp Dread with Harrison Smith. And he and I, another situation where he's a director who I just love and adore. And we clicked. And he and I decided to become business partners where we would produce together. We worked on Death House together. We did Camp Dread, Zombie Killers, Garlic and Gunpowder. And now he just did this special where I'm an associate producer on that. But Garlic is a comedy. So when he was getting ready to work on it, he's like, I've been thinking about you playing a part in it because I was a producer on it. And I'm like, really? What? Like, I'm really not right for any of the parts. And he's like, I just have this great idea. I think you should be Ma. And I'm like, what? So he's like, yeah, I think we should get you in a fat suit and like you should just go and like, play this character out. I know you can. Because it was a woman he knew. It was his college roommate's mom. And she was a nut. She was a drug dealer and she like talked like this.
Oh my God.
Shut the fuck up.
Wow.
I'm getting
So
I'm getting flashbacks from the movie Crypt Sleepaway Camp commentary you did with those guys. Joe,
Oh, boo.
kind of like a
I
weird
love
rotten
Joe
shot.
Lynch. Oh my gosh, I love those guys. Adam Green and Joe
I
Lynch
was
have
like,
my
what's
heart.
happening?
I love them.
Like, that was a crazy commentary.
That was the craziest comment. They were sleep deprived. I don't know what I could say for myself. I came in and I was just like, I'm running with it.
Oh
Bulls.
yeah, you totally went with it. It was something.
It was so much fun. No, it wasn't a commentary. It was like Joe Lynch and I just going off on New York accents, and we're both from Long Island, so it was fun.
Yeah, guys, go check the movie Crypt. Yeah, Joe Lynch, Adam Green. They have a little show, and if you're a patron, you can get fan commentaries and stuff. And they're interesting. Couple Hollywood dudes, and they had Felissa on their show.
I need to get in on that. I need to watch that. That sounds hilarious.
Great. It's hilarious. Yeah, they're great. But yeah, so Harrison really had to take a lot of time convincing the producers to put me in that part, the other two producers. And finally they were like, okay, if you think we can make it work. And fortunately, Harrison to this day will text me every single day with memes of Ma, because she's just insane. And he it's like his favorite character ever. Because I'm 5'2", and then like you put me in I'm always in heels, so right. I think I'm 6 feet tall. But then you put me in like a 350-pound suit and like this long extension, like this long braid, and it was my big face and my cigar and these big long red nails. She was the best. She was so fun to play.
That's awesome. You got to stretch your legs a little bit.
Oh God, I'm going to rent this movie after this interview's done because
it's a wild movie. Sure. It's wild. It really is. With James Duval, so many great people: Judy Tenuta, Marty Cove, Dean McDermott. A great cast.
That's excellent.
It's so fun.
It looks hilarious.
Ma. Oh my gosh. It was only 2 years ago. Feels like it was so long ago. And then we have Victor Crowley, which I'm so proud of.
Oh
yeah, Hatchet 4. Yeah.
Oh my god.
It was a wonderful surprise to see you in that movie. When I did, I was like, oh, there she is.
I'm so thankful to Adam Green. I mean, I could not believe it.
Fantastic role for you too. It seemed to fit well, naturally in the story and stuff.
It was so. I was like such a super fan of his, and I met him at Rock and Shock convention back in I think 2015. I was so nervous to say hello, and then finally a friend of mine said, "Just go over to him and say hi." So I said, "Hi, Adam. I'm Felissa Rose. I just want you to know I love your work and bye." And
yeah, isn't that weird how we do that as people? We just put people up on a pedestal with things.
I know.
It's scary. It's like, oh, they're just human beings, They put their pants on one leg at a time and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But you get a little nervous. It's hard to think about that. Like I just met recently Greg Nicotero, and
yeah. Oh wow.
Yeah.
He's a special effects hero.
I was like, just a mess. Mm-hmm. Just insanely gushing. So and thankfully we've hung out since, and he makes fun of me. He's like, oh yeah, you were flipping your hair and
you get all giddy and stuff.
I got all giddy and weird.
Now you know how the fans feel when they walk up to your table at a con and stuff.
No, I don't
even know how to stand here. Right?
No way.
That brings me to a good question I've written down. I want to know, do you consider yourself to be a celebrity? Do you think of yourself that way?
No. Oh my gosh, not even a little bit. No.
Yeah, I kind of got that vibe off. You just kind of like a down-to-earth person, just like to have enjoy your life and have a good time.
Yeah, I'm just all about, having a really good time in every moment. I just think life is too short, and you just have to enjoy all things, all people who you meet in life. And I try to live by that, you know?
That's great because, that really does radiate throughout, off of you. Like it draws people into you and it brings good energy towards you. And I'm trying
Thank you.
to carry that along in my life as well. So kudos to you for sure.
Aw, thank you. It's important. I mean, I think we get caught up in like, really small
Status
things.
stuff.
all the time, yeah.
Yeah. We forget that it doesn't matter. Who cares if, what you drive or silly that stuff means nothing to me. It's like really about having great friends, great family. I'm very grateful. I had kids late in life, so I really appreciate like having these three amazing people. So yeah, not to get all sappy and silly, but it's true. That's all that matters.
Absolutely.
You don't take all the shit with you when you die, but people will talk about the memories. Like we had a really good time together. Remember that night and remember going there. That's all that matters.
Yeah, so true.
Definitely, yeah.
Think you want to throw a question in?
No, I was gonna ask you. Do you like doing the horror conventions a lot, or is it just something you kind of just have fallen into, or they've gotten a lot of demand for it, or how does that work?
Well, it's funny because my first convention was back. It was Fangoria, and it was 2001.
Oh wow!
And I was shocked that anyone remembered SleepAway Camp. Like, I was there with the whole cast and Robert Hiltzik, the writer director. And we were seriously like, is this for us? Because we went after a Friday the 13th panel, and we also had, standing room only, and we signed autographs for like 5 hours.
Oh my gosh!
We were shocked with the love for that movie. So, I really then I kind of forgot about the business, and I was actually working. I owned my own company, and then I decided, you know what, I'm going to give it a shot. I really love acting, and I came back in and moved out to California. And then I heard about the conventions, and to me, the conventions are the greatest source of connection and
absolutely,
and talk about energy. It's like, so I love it because I am a party person. I know everybody kind of knows that. If you go to conventions, I know Joe Bob will text me. He's like, you're a party girl. You're the party girl. It's like,
Felissa, I totally want to party with you at the hotel bar sometime and just
that's me.
Hang out.
You just have to go to that bar and I'll be there because in fact, I just met the Terrifier guys, David Howard Thornton.
Oh, I saw your picture where you're both choking each other.
Yeah, it's great. I fucking love that movie too. What a great.
That's a good movie.
That's a great movie, and I love those guys. I cannot wait for Terrifier 2.
Oh, God,
and so the conventions are just, you know what? But I will say, like, I have to tell. Can I tell you a funny story?
Yes, please.
Because it's just hilarious to me.
Go for it. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm at New Jersey HorrorCon, and it was spectacular. Like one of the best conventions I've ever been to. Just like I loved everything about it, and I love all of them. I mean, I could never say, oh, I didn't like that one. I always have the best adventure. Like they're always amazing. But this was especially great because I met Damien Leone, who's Terrifier writer, director, and I'm a big fan. So that was exciting. And then all of a sudden I'm like signing and talking to people. And my manager, Sam, she's one of my close girlfriends. She's like, taps me on the shoulder. Look. And I'm like, I don't know what she's talking about. But I see my table has like several security guys around. I'm like, shit, are they mad that I like had a drink at the table? Like what? She's like, Mr. Chris Jericho would like to speak with you. I'm like,
Chris Jericho.
Or whatever. Maybe they say Chris Jericho. I'm like, in my mind, I'm a fan of his. So I'm geeking out like, wait, what? And they're like, yes, he'd like to speak with you. So he comes behind my table. He's like, hey, I love SleepAway Camp. I just wanted you to know how much I love it and where'd you guys film it? And he's like asking me all these questions. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, this is the greatest moment of my life right now. Like, it doesn't get better than this. Like, I come to a convention and I actually meet someone who, everyone, I'm always like the fangirl,
Usually fangirling over each other or something.
It's so fun. Yeah, it was so fun. So just meeting him and like then we followed each other on Twitter and I started freaking out. I was like telling my husband, oh my God, Chris Jericho follows me on Twitter, not on Twitter, on Instagram. I was freaking out.
Oh, it's so cool.
Have
See how silly I get?
Have you ever had that happen at other conventions where you had other celebrities know your movie and have talked to you about it and like, oh, I love it, I used to watch it, and I've seen it so many times, things like that. Has that happened at a convention recently or any other event?
I mean, it happens. Like, I'm surprised by it. Like Sean Whalen, several years ago, he came to my table and he was like, I love Sleepaway Camp. It's my favorite movie. And we've been best friends ever since.
That's awesome.
It's crazy. But I fan out over everybody. I'm like, anyone, because I grew up on these movies as well, and I'm a huge fan, and it amazes me. Like, I'll never forget, like, now Kane Hodder is a very dear friend of mine and we work together a lot. But I remember years ago freaking out if he was a few tables away from me. I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Like, staring at him out of the corner of your eye the whole time.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Now I like text him from conventions when I'm super drunk, and I'm like, you wouldn't know what the fuck's going on. It's crazy here. I did that at New Jersey HorrorCon. He's like, tear it up, girl.
Yeah.
He's one of those guys that likes to hang with the fans at the bar and stuff too, isn't he? That's what I've heard.
Can I just say one thing about him? He is one of the most down-to-earth, humble, beautiful people, and he is always hanging out with everyone, and he has the biggest heart and gives to anyone. I mean, I could tell you stories that you just, I love that man so much. Any chance I get to like hang out with him or work with him. We have a movie coming out where he's the star of the movie. It's called Knife Corp. And he's in a very serious dramatic role. So I'm super excited for that movie to come out and for everyone to see him. He's just, and we have an announcement coming soon. I can't say anything, but something super cool happening. Yeah. So they were supposed to announce it today, but it got pushed because they wanted to get press photos first. So I don't blame them.
Okay, gotcha.
And that documentary they just dropped about him last year was great too. That was a lot.
Oh my gosh, to hell and back.
Interesting look at his life and everything, and how he kind of opened himself up to talk about some of the harder points in his life, and some of the things he went through was pretty endearing. So yeah, I mean, I haven't met him yet, but I'd like to.
Oh, you have to go. Oh, he's just the most genuine person. I mean, they all are. Like, I can't say enough great things about. I mean, I've recently become good friends with Christine Elise from Child's Play 2.
Oh, wow.
And I've always been a fan of hers. I mean, from 90210 to Child's Play 2. And she's a dear friend and so sweet and wonderful. And, I've been friends with Shepis for like 20 years, Tiffany Shepis. So it's great. It's funny because these are the people that, like, we're all together, we all work together. So you become good friends.
Yeah, you're all part of a club, essentially.
Yeah, you're all part of. Yeah,
well, it's like if you go to an office and you work in a dentist's office, you become friends with everybody who works there. So this is like, we're like the modern day circus.
Yeah,
that's very true.
We go from city to city and we hang out and know each other's shit, and it's fun.
Speaking of Victor Crowley and people in the industry, like, I've been kind of going back and forth with Laura Ortiz a little bit. She's kind of interested in coming on. She seems so sweet. Like, she's bubbly and fun. And if we could ever nail down a time to get her on the show, I'm looking forward to that.
She's very, very interesting. I've always found her very interesting. Like, in all the things that she's done, especially in Hatchet 4, she kind of like her character is completely different from what she actually is and everything.
I know I think she stole that movie. She's a fantastic actress. Mm-hmm. And she's another very good friend of mine who is so sweet and fun and bubbly and smart. She definitely get her on. She's great. We have something else that we're working on together, so hopefully that'll go.
Oh, nice.
So funny how they put the gag order on us for so many things. It's like, I just did a movie with Eric Roberts, and they're like, don't talk about it. I'm like, but it's so fun and so cool, and I want to tell the world,
Well, you guys did some screen time together on Camp Dread, though, right? So did
you
guys get to chill?
We did Camp Dread, yeah. And then we did another movie, the first movie I produced called No Solicitors, and we did that like 6 years ago. And now we just did another movie, And I love working with him. He's another one who's such a sweetheart, so
Yep.
down to earth. I love Eliza, his wife. They're really beautiful people. It's amazing, and you keep working with people, and you just get to know them so well. And it's a great, like I said, it's a great family.
Excellent. Yeah, he always seemed like a kind of guy that'd be cool to, he's probably got stories to tell. Or something,
I was just gonna say, his stories are unbelievable. And it's funny because my best friend Austin Brooks, he's someone I met at a convention. He came to my table in Atlanta like 5 years ago, and he was like, I really want to break into the business and work, crew. And I was like, move out to California and I'll help you. And he did. And we've done a million films together now. He's in demand because he's so good at what he does. And he was on this Eric Roberts movie. So we were all sitting in my room just hanging out. And Eric came in and he sat down and he started talking about, so many great stories, so much history. And Austin's like, this is amazing. I was like, isn't it cool? Like, I know. We were freaking out. It was fun.
Nick?
I was going to ask you, do you watch a lot of horror movies lately? Have you seen anything good that you like, or any sort of patterns that you're, like, especially I think there's a lot of supernatural stuff going on in horror now. Are you a fan of that, or do you still miss the slasher stuff from a few years ago?
I'm into all of it. I love all kinds of horror. It doesn't have to be, slasher, although I'm definitely, probably more drawn to that. But I love the supernatural films, and I haven't seen a lot recently. But I was talking to somebody, and I was like, I love Home Invasion. I don't know why.
Okay.
That's like my favorite. And I think it's because it's the scariest, because it's so true.
Right.
It's like something that could really happen to you. So maybe that freaks me out more.
That new Tarantino movie coming out should be right up your alley then, I think.
Definitely.
What about the Tate murders and stuff like that? Like, wow,
yes.
That's be a juggernaut, I have a feeling.
Yes.
Big one.
Exactly. Yeah. That's all, we watch horror all day long in my house. So.
Oh, that's awesome.
But,
my kids I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, my kids are into it. It's good. It's like, I think my husband has seen the new Halloween like 58 times.
Oh, God.
He can tell you everything. But he's in love with it. He just loves it. He's so happy they remade it. And, but I love having my kids be involved as well. They love horror movies. So that's good.
Do you guys like, is a family night usually going to like the Red Box or going on Amazon and renting something and watching it with the family with pizza or something like that? Is it usually
a family? Yeah,
really?
We watch it.
Okay.
That's exactly
all right.
how we watch it. We'll watch Shudder. My husband's a huge Shudder fan, so am I.
Man.
So we love everything on Shudder. I love Netflix. I'm big, and Redbox. My husband right now, I see like all the Redbox right here. So yeah, and we'll, on a Friday night, now it's all about Joe Bob, watching The Last Drive-In.
Very nice.
Because I really am a genuine fan of his, and the movies that he's choosing are incredible.
Yeah, well, you're also part of it, so I'm sure you feel like it's exciting to watch it blossom into this great thing and stuff. So.
I'm just surprised. Like it still surprises me. I'm like, really? But it's great.
I really feel like a lot of times it's just the right time, right place for something to flourish, and it just happens, and it feels right, and everybody just sort of falls in love with it.
It's so nice when things happen. I feel like people appreciate like when things aren't pushed or contrived. Like it was a very organic situation. It wasn't like anyone set out to make this
campaign
big series.
Yeah.
No, he was just saying this was it. Like he was just going to go do the marathon, and that was the last of it.
Mm-hmm, yeah, I remember the commercials. He's like, "Oh, this is the last time I'm doing it. You guys want to get another chance?" And once again, he broke the internet, and now he has a permanent show on there.
I think it has a lot to do with the way that sometimes you approach a project and your vibes around it, and sometimes if you're a little too hungry for something, it can turn things the wrong direction, So
I agree. You have to let no resistance, like just allow things to happen naturally.
Mm-hmm. Yep, definitely.
That's definitely a good way to,
What was the last movie that you saw in the movie theater? And are you a popcorn or candy girl?
I'm a popcorn girl. And the last one, oh, that's a hard question. Because it's so rare that I get to go to the movies. Isn't that sad? The last movie, it's a great question. I think I saw, what was it, the last, it was with Hugh Jackman.
Was it
the musical?
It was the musical. The last, showman.
That's what it is. Last Showman. That's what it is. It's Last Showman.
Yes.
He's such a fantastic actor that he can convince me to pretty much watch almost anything except for maybe movie 43. I might skip over that one, but he's such an amazing guy.
He's so, and he also he's just, everything he does is so fun to watch. So.
Do you ever watch the videos of him and Ryan Reynolds fighting online?
No.
There's I guess
was it a joke? They were kidding, right?
It's a joke, but they're constantly making little videos against each other and calling each other out and everything, and it's really hilarious.
Oh, that's great. That's so fun. I love that.
He's one of those guys you could tell probably really not really too invested in the ego department. He's just kind of a down to earth guy, nice guy.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
And I think that's why we like to watch him. I think ego is so, it's definitely something I stay away from. Anything that has to do with, just.
Well, there's nothing worse than if you're at a convention and you meet somebody that, you're such a huge fan of and they bum you out with a bad experience because they're having a bad day or.
Has that ever happened to you? You don't have to mention who it is.
Yeah.
But,
I don't do name, but you're just kind of because then you're always going to associate that feeling with the movie. You go back to it, and you're like, delete. I don't want to remember that.
I know it's happened to me too. Mm-hmm. I've been at a con, so excited to meet this actor who I know, is going to be there, and then it's like, oh, you're not really a nice person. Yeah.
You're relax. I'm a human being. Let's just have a conversation.
Yeah.
I think that they could be in a situation where they have a really strange fan kind of fuck their energy up a little bit, and it might put them in a weird mood. I was going to ask you, have you ever had a really strange off kilter fan or a bad experience?
No. And I was just going to say that to you. I was going to say it's so weird because I have been doing the conventions for a bunch of years now, and I have never encountered anyone, who put me off or made me feel weird or strange or anything,
or whatever,
of that nature. It's always been uplifting and lovely and energizing and inspiring. No, okay, they're having a crazy time here.
Dog fight.
Dogs here. Yeah, dog fight. Yeah, I'm just having a dog fight. I'm gonna break out the chicken soon now. So no, I've always had a wonderful experience. It's never been.
I'm really glad to hear
anything short of perfect.
I mean, horror fans are a little strange, we're a little odd. We see things maybe a little bit differently. Some of us do, and I can imagine that eventually you might meet somebody who's be like, I kind of wish somebody was here to be a bit of a barrier, but I'm really glad that you've had nothing but good experiences. I keep trying to get those chiller dudes to get you invited over to, because that's the closest convention to where I live. Is I'm in New Jersey.
So are you going? Are you going to Chiller this weekend? The weekend coming up?
I'm planning on going. Do you remember Alex Edwards from Skeleton Crew?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, he's my buddy. He lives 15 minutes away from me.
Awesome.
We have another podcast together and stuff, but yeah, he's going to scoop me up. We're going to go check it out. So
that's great. Well, you'll have to. So I just, right before, when you were calling me, Ricky D and Logan called me, and I was like, dude, I got to go. I have to do a podcast. And he's like, all right. He's like, call me tomorrow because I get on a plane Thursday. I'm like, where are you going? He's like, Chiller. And Christina Elise is going too, because I was trying to get her to come with me to Canada to Shock Stock, but she's like, I'm going to Chiller. So hug both of them. They're very, very dear friends, and they're amazing people and amazing talent.
I'm going to run right up to him. I'm going to say, Felissa told me to give you a hug.
And they're going to,
no introduction.
Oh my God. Both of them will run up and give you a hug if you say that.
Oh gosh.
Do it.
I can imagine. I can imagine Josh doing that. Like immediately, security like pounces on you.
Getting dragged out. I'll like be texting Nick. I'd
No
be like,
way.
"You're never gonna
They'll
believe
be
what
like,
happened."
oh my God, are you kidding?
I'm gonna like message you on Twitter and be like, "Felissa,
You're gonna
you
be like, get the
fucked
bail
up."
money. I'm like on a plane from Canada.
You'll be hearing from my lawyer, Felissa.
Oh gosh.
All your idea. I have it. It's recorded.
Typical shit that I do. I'm like, whoops, oops.
Yeah, I'm gonna go check it out. I skipped it last October because I went to the Monster Mania and Cherry Hill, and it just seems like
didn't come to Atlantic City.
I know I want
Man.
to, but I have to pick and choose. It's like it's
know.
kind of
I
like
know.
the timing
hard.
has to be right and stuff, and I keep missing you by like one show here, one show there.
Oh man.
Josh,
you should drive to Scaricon.
Where's that?
So that's that's June 7th, 8th, and 9th, and it's in Massachusetts. I think it's by Springfield. It's probably a little drive.
Nick, come up here, pick me up, and we'll go.
You need to come down to Atlanta and do Days of the Dead. Okay, you need to come down here.
I would actually love to do that.
Is there Days of the Dead over there?
Yeah, there's Days of the Dead in Atlanta every January.
I was just there.
Yes, you were.
I was there. Did you not say hi to me?
I've met you a couple times actually, but the first time, the first.
Did I hug you?
Yes, you did. You hugged me. You signed my box set of Sleepaway Camp. The first time I met you, I think it was in Days of the Dead, Indianapolis in 2015. Of
course, Nick's just telling me this now. He didn't tell me this before the interview.
Well, and that box set got stolen that day.
Man.
I'm so sorry. That's horrible.
Well, it's one of those things that happens at a horror convention. Like you haven't been to a horror convention unless you've gotten something that's gotten signed and gotten stolen. That's a
that
thing.
Sucks.
Oh no, it does suck. But luckily, I got a brand new one, and I will next time I see you at whatever convention you're at, I will come by.
I'm just gonna sign it for you. I feel so badly.
Oh, thank you for that.
And I'm gonna give you something else. That sucks.
That's
I'm
awesome.
so sorry that happened.
No, it's not your fault. It's just sometimes at these conventions, people aren't that you don't get the greatest of people sometimes.
Things grow legs and just get up and walk away.
Yeah, I mean it's just the way it is. Even though they have security around there and everything, sometimes things fall through the cracks, and so.
Well, did you see Greg Nicotero? He was there.
Yes, I did. I saw Greg.
He was. See, I was freaking out at that convention.
Are you going to be at the Kansas? What's the one in Kansas City? Crypticon?
I'm trying to go to that one because I went 2 years ago and I loved it. Mm-hmm. It was so awesome.
Yeah, so I think I'm going to be at that one because a couple of good podcasting friends of mine that I visit their podcast a lot. We're going to supposedly, hopefully, meet up together there at Crypticon and get a table and promote the podcast and stuff. So if I make it there, I'll keep an eye out for you. If you show up, I'll come over.
Yeah, I'm trying to go there. I love that one. That's a great one.
But get over to Chiller because it's only like 20 minutes from me.
Oh, I'll have to. Somebody else. They're friends with I guess it's Kevin who runs it. So they said, "Oh, we'll talk to him." So maybe I'll be there. Hopefully next year.
Oh, great.
Awesome. Well, guys, thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much.
I appreciate it. This was so fun.
Oh, before you jet, can I do 10?
Yes.
I wanted to do a lightning round of questions, real quick answers, 10 questions, kind of like, just real fast, right off the cuff. Ready?
Let's do it. Okay.
Okay, 10 questions with Felissa Rose. Here we go. Number 1, what's your favorite fast food?
Oh, God. Chipotle? Is that fast food?
Sure, that counts.
It counts.
It's owned by McDonald's, I think, or something. But let's see. Number 2, what's on repeat on your iPod right now?
Oh my God! Well, it's for my kids. It's Ariana Grande.
There you go. No wrong answers here.
It's constant.
What's the most recent movie you saw in the theater? You already answered that one. We'll skip to the next one. Who's your favorite comedian right now?
I love. God, I love so many people, but I love Chris Rock. He's always going to be my favorite.
He's a legend. Who's your current celebrity crush?
Celebrity crush would have to be I would say God, celebrity crush, that's my husband, Darren Miller.
There you go. What's your favorite curse word?
A motherfucker.
Motherfucker. Classic. Going with the Samuel L. Jackson.
Exactly.
What do you binge on TV these days besides Showbop?
Impractical Jokers.
Oh, nice.
That is fun. That's a good one.
Always.
They actually did a skit out here in my hometown.
I love them. I love Q. He was in Victor Crowley.
Oh, that's right. He was.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was.
Christmas or Halloween? What's your favorite holiday?
Halloween.
Oh, yes. There you
I want
go.
to see if you're going to throw me a curveball on that one, but sometimes people are really kind of divisive about that.
No.
Let's see. Who's your favorite slasher out of these three? Jason, Michael, or Freddy?
Oh my gosh, you're killing me. But I will say Jason.
Right on. And this one's a little racy, so bear with me.
I love it. It could be really racy.
Okay.
Be racier.
Fuck, marry, kill.
I love this game. Oh my God, this is my favorite game.
Michelle Bauer, Brink Stevens, Linnea Quigley.
Okay. I wasn't expecting that. I would fuck Michelle Bauer. I would marry. You know what?
Oh, right?
Okay, let me start again. I would fuck Linnea. I would marry Brink, and I would kill Michelle.
Nice. I can understand. I can get that.
Is that a good one?
I love all three of those
love
girls.
all of them.
That's a wonderful answer.
Brink's always my fave. I always love Brink Stevens. She's just amazing.
Brink is my sweetheart. I just love her so much, and we've been close for many years. So she's top notch, classy lady.
Absolutely. Hopefully, I can get her on here one time and
yes,
a little bit.
Have you asked? Have you?
I had. She kind of like vaporized off Twitter. She was on there, and I was following her, and she was on there for like maybe a couple of months, and then she closed her account. She's on Instagram. I know that. She's on Facebook, so maybe I'll reach out to her.
She is. Yeah, I could put you guys in touch. She's a friend of mine.
Please do.
She's amazing.
Yeah,
she's a great person.
I would very much appreciate that.
Of course. Yeah,
Nick,
I'll do it tonight.
Do you want to drop one more question before we wrap it up and let her get to the next podcast?
I have nothing left.
I'm the serial podcaster.
I got no. Oh, actually, no. I did. I do have one question. What movie do you watch, like all the time and you don't get bored of?
Misery.
Well, okay.
Stephen King fan. Very good.
Very nice.
I am a Stephen King fan, and I'm a Kathy Bates fan, and that movie is flawless.
Yeah,
it's insane. It really
I think that ankle breaking scene might be one of the cringiest moments in horror history.
Isn't it?
It's worse than
The Mist. The Mist is also my other one.
Oh, wow. Okay. Very nice.
Yeah.
Marcia Gay Harden. Oh my God, she's unbelievable in that.
Absolutely, that's a good one too, a classic.
Yeah.
But yeah, we don't want to keep. We are eternally grateful for your time,
guys.
and
I so appreciate it.
Yeah, you're so welcome.
Yeah, it was wonderful talking to you.
You too. Thank you.
Seek you out at the next time we cross paths, and
please.
And I'm buying you a shot, okay?
Several. No, I'm kidding. I'll buy you several. You buy me several, and the night will be perfect.
Shoot, we'll just bring bottles. Forget it. We'll just bring handles.
Bring the bottles.
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
Yeah.
Exactly. All right, guys.
Like
thank you for having me.
Thank
Have a great night.
Much.
Great talking to you. Thank you.
Yes, you too.
Thanks a lot.
Bye.
Cheers.
Bye. Cheers.
All right, everybody, there you go. There's our interview with Felissa that Nick and I did, and we really hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. And man, she's just such a kind person. We just scribbled down some ideas on a piece of paper, maybe a few questions, and just kind of go from there, and try to have fun with it. I'm a little bit of a curveball guy, and Nick kind of shoots it right down the middle, and she just played it, very casually, and we love that about Felissa. So definitely go over to her crowdfunding for the SleepAway Camp documentary that's coming out. Throw some money into it. We all want to see that. We're dying to see a great interview. Hopefully they get Pamela Springsteen to come on and do an interview, because we've just been wondering for all these years, like, what is her thoughts on SleepAway Camp 2 and 3. So there you go. and check the playlist, because we're probably gonna have a commentary to companion this interview. So go check that out too. And guys, like I always say, stay awesome and stay R-rated. And cheers.
I don't wanna let you go.